Hello and welcome to this video in the series Simplicity in Stocks. I'm Sarit, Managing Editor at Equitymaster. In this video, we will highlight the top 5 long-term investing themes in the Indian stock market. Warren Buffett once famously said, "If past history were all that is needed to play the game of money, the richest people would be librarians." Stock markets are all about the future. If investors are positive about the future of a company, the stock price goes up. If not, the price goes down. This is because investors buy stocks to benefit from the profits in the future. Now, the net profit of a company is simply its revenue multiplied by its net profit margin. A company can increase its profit by improving the net margin. The company can cut costs relative to its revenue to achieve this. But it can only do so up to a point. At the end of the day, if profits are to go up, revenue must go up. Now, revenue is just a number of units sold, either the product or the service, multiplied by the price of that unit. A company can increase the selling price up to a point, but not beyond that, because its product or service will become too costly for consumers. So we can conclude that a company's revenue, its net profit, and thus its stock price are all directly related to the number of units of its product or service that it can sell. Thus we arrive at this simple formula for long-term stock market returns. More units sold equals higher stock price. If you are a long-term investor, this is the most important question you should ask. Will this company be able to sell its products or services for years and decades? And this brings us to the crux of the matter. If a company must grow continuously in this manner, then its target market of consumers must also grow continuously. Otherwise, eventually, it will run out of people who will buy what it is selling. This means if you are a long-term investor looking to make life-changing wealth, then you need to invest based on how India's population will spend its money. How do we figure that out? Well, back in 2022, the results of the 5th round of the National Family Health Survey gave us the answer. The data says that India's population will peak around the year 2060 at about 1.6 billion. India's current population is about 1.4 billion. This means the population growth rate in India will be very slow from now on. India will become an older nation as the existing young population matures. So as a long-term investor, you should not depend on more people buying goods and services. Instead, you will have to focus on those sectors that will benefit from a rising prosperity of a country that will not be as youthful as it is today. Look for sectors that cater to the people among the 1.6 billion who will have the ability to spend, that is, those who have discretionary income. This will be a minority of India's population. The simple reality for long-term investors is that the spending done by most of India's population will not create life-changing wealth in the stock market. Only the spending of the rich and especially the upper middle class will do that. So how are these people spending their money? Well, these are the top 5 themes that will benefit from the spending of India's wealthy citizens. Please note here that we will be discussing only the themes, as this video is for informational purposes only. It is not a stock recommendation and should not be treated as such. There is no opinion or view on any stock covered herein. First, real estate. Developers in India are in a tricky situation in the long term. A nation in which population growth is rapidly decelerating might not be the best place to grow. But this is only half the story. You see, India will get older and wealthier at an ever-increasing rate. People will demand premium, comfortable living spaces, not to mention the second homes and vacation homes. One needs only to look at China's massive real estate boom despite its rapidly declining population growth, to understand the potential in India. Thus, real estate companies that pivot from low-income housing to premium housing will do very well. Another niche segment that will do well is senior housing. With each passing year, our large population will get older and richer. Companies focused on the niche of senior living spaces have a massive tailwind going for them, which will last several decades. This is the first long-term investing theme. Companies in premium real estate and senior housing. Second, high-end consumer retail. A large population which is not as young as it used to be will choose to spend more on products that are classy as opposed to trendy. Trends are all the rage among India's youth today, but that will not be the case 10 and 15 years from now. Premium products that cater to specific needs of discerning customers will be the rage then. Consumer brands like in fashion, electronics and accessories that recognize this shift will slowly but surely develop a base of loyal premium customers. These companies will dominate the retail sector over the next 2 to 3 decades in India. On the other hand, brands that continue to focus on the youth or low-income segments 10 years from now will struggle to grow their profits. They will face increasing competition in a stagnant market. This is the second long-term investing theme. Companies selling premium consumer brands with loyal customers. Third, luxury travel and tourism. This will be a huge growth industry in India's future. An older and richer population will spend big money on luxury vacations. Now, this is something that might seem a little like an alien concept for many investors today. After all, we think that only rich people go on luxury vacations. It is hard for ordinary Indians to imagine a middle-class family sailing on a luxury cruise. But there is nothing unusual about this. It happens all the time in developed countries. One needs only to look at the spending patterns of people in richer countries to see how this will play out in India. Of particular interest to investors should be companies that are going the extra mile to deliver customized experiences for travelers. Plain vanilla tourism will soon be outdated in India. That day will come sooner than you think. This is the third long-term investing theme. Companies in luxury travel and tourism. Fourth, technology. This is obvious but very important. Today, the tech sector in India is dominated by IT services firms. But India's tech sector 10 to 15 years from now will look very different. The big IT services firms will likely still be around, but they will face huge competition from a growing number of newer companies. These companies are just startups today. Promoters of these startups may be worrying about getting investors to back their vision. But some of them will make it past the initial growth stage, and a few of them will inevitably become world leaders in their niche. Far-sighted investors in these stocks will become very wealthy. This is the fourth long-term investing theme, small and innovative technology firms. Number 5, healthcare. The younger the population, the healthier it is on average. But as a nation gets older, its healthcare needs go up. The older we become, the more we depend on medicines. Just look at the gigantic size of healthcare sector in the developed world. That will tell you all you need to know about the wealth creation potential of these companies. COVID may have brought these firms into the spotlight, but they have a very bright long-term future as well. It's just a matter of finding the right stock and holding on to it. This is the fifth long-term investing theme, the entire healthcare ecosystem in India. What do you think about this list? Share your thoughts with us in the comments. We love your feedback and thank you for watching.